Hey everyone, happy Wednesday. So today I'm going to talk about how to how to dissolve overwhelm and pressure to do everything at once. Get it all done at once. Be like the person at TV all at once. And uh, just to know about TV and internet and the great people you see on there, they're probably the top 0.001 percentile of what they're doing. So it's really not fair to compare your progress with theirs, especially when you're still starting out. Um, so, so the first thing I like to start off with is, letting go of the idea that you ought to be uh, anywhere other than where you're at right now, and and it sounds harder than it really is to do that. But I'm gonna give you a real argument as to why you actually should be where you're at right now. It's okay to be where you're at right now because let's face it, right? There's so many things that have happened in our lives that we're not in our control, right? The amount of wealth we were born into, the people we were influenced by, the cultural messages we were told, and because no one's exactly gone through the same thing, no one's exactly the same person, then that means that even if there's this conventional self-help and example of all these successful people out there in the world, uh, in reality what we're all doing is we're figuring out ways to adapt that self-help advice for our own lives. And even if you're not taking anything from a self-help world, you're basically pioneering your life. So I I don't want you to dismiss what it took for you to get to where you are today, and all the things you've learned, all the whole journey you've been on. It's something I think we can all appreciate about ourselves is our resilience, our ability to go through a lot of struggle. And What was I going to mention next? Uh, yeah, don't try to burn the ocean, right? Like, you may be feeling behind in your career. You're not in the right career, or you're not in the right relationship, or you're not where you want to be, and you don't have close connections with any friends or family, right? It's like it all seems very, you know, like you're so far from where you, again, so far from where you ought to be. But if you try to do it all at once, at least in my experience, when I tried to do everything at once, I'd get so overwhelmed. My waking moments would be filled with stress. Like I'd just be so focused on what I didn't have that, you know, it was hard even to take the action to make much progress in getting what I want to. Like that journey could have been a lot, less stressful, right? If you just uh, decide not to burn the ocean, but to decide to work on a slice of the pie, of the puzzle. Like no one ever arrives there. There's always part of the mountain to climb, but you at least can climb a part of the mountain, commit to a small part of the mountain. Maybe maybe like even within your career, there's like so many aspects of it to learn. So maybe you'd pick a small piece and learn that small piece. Or if you're trying to help the world, then do it in one small capacity that's like within reach. It's like posting a video, raising awareness, right? Whatever it is, right? It doesn't need to be such a large piece because, well, I mean, you can break it down into larger pieces, of course. You can have a vision for what you want to do, but after that, break it down into even smaller pieces. And actually, I learned this technique where you know if you if you're feeling like you're in a funk and you don't want to do much, everything looks overwhelming, you can tell start to coach yourself and say, hey, okay, for instance, I would say, hey, Lena, okay, stand up from the was it like sit up from the bed, Put your feet on the ground, stand up, um, walk to, walk to the bathroom, go to a bathroom, come back, open laptop, write a sentence, write 2 sentences, write a paragraph. You see where I'm going, right? Like just breaking it down to steps so small that it would be silly not to take them. So that's one thing I wanted to mention. The other thing is something Warren Buffett said, right? So he said if you know he said to come up with a list of 25 things you want to do, you really want to do in your life, and you really want to get right. And he said pick your top 5 and then backlog the other 20, and avoid them at all costs until you get at least one of your top 5 done and out of the way. So that's it's a really good way to prevent overwhelm, and also make sure you're not spreading your energies too thin. And actually, the way I like to see it is when you're more deliberate about your time and how you spend your energy, you can actually get more done in a day. It's like when you approach it slowly enough and you deliberately choose the tasks that are going to move the needle forward much farther than the usual stuff you do. Busy work, right? Does busy work add value? Maybe not, right? Sometimes it's the courageous, scary actions that add value. But if you find you're not taking those actions, maybe it's time to break them into even smaller steps, do more practices, talk to a friend about it, have them brainstorm ideas, right? So for today's assignment, I would like you to, let us know in the comments below what are the top 5 things you want to focus on. Should I give you another assignment? And also, 3 small things you can do this week to move the needle forward. So with that, thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you next time.